We're going to kick off our 2024 office chair tier list. Now, there are a bunch of new chairs that we've brought in over the past year that we're going to rank in this list and see how they stack up against all of the other chairs that we've been looking at over the past 2 years now. Ryan's going to start us off with the Haworth Fern. What do you got?
The Haworth Fern is going to be one of my favorite chairs ever reviewed. Great flexibility in the backrest, very comfortable seat, and ridiculously adjustable arms. Also good build quality. And when you get configured the way that I do with digital knit, no lumbar, no headrest, I consider this S tier.
Yeah, I think I've spent some more time in this chair, and there is a couple deal breakers for me to get to that S tier. The first is just going to be the gap between the seat and the backrest. It's something that I definitely notice when I get this thing set up for me. I don't love the headrest at all, and I think the armrest could be better, even though they're trying to be like the Steelcase Leap's 4-way arms. It's really close, though. I'm going to go A.
The Fern gets an even added boost when you throw in the policies from Haworth, and it also has really good build quality. I love the backrest on this chair. The digital knit is great. Just below an S for me, it's an A, but it's going to average out to a high A.
Next up, we've got the Ergohuman Generation 2. Now, this is their latest iteration of the chair. The original came out 17 years ago. Now, just so you know, that mesh seat was so uncomfortable, I just couldn't use it. This version is a huge upgrade. They've actually upgraded a lot of different areas, not just the seat. The back has improved, and the lumbar support is actually adjustable. They've got a good warranty over at Eurotech, who represents Ergohuman in the States, but just be careful where you're buying from to make sure you get a good return policy. I'm going A tier.
This is a chair, the Ergohuman Gen 2, that I can actually sit in. Now, another thing they really improved was the arms are much better in this Gen 2, so this is an A for me.
One thing that I really like is that the arms come back with you now on the recline. I do wish that the arms adjusted a little bit more narrow. I'm at a B, but it's still an A overall.
The Colamy Atlas is one of our late-night Amazon finds, and it's quickly become a chair we recommend because of the good value. I really like the lumbar curve and the backrest. This is going to be a B for me.
Yeah, this is currently my pick for the best chair for under that $300 mark, and I do think it actually punches above its weight class for things like build quality, overall adjustments, and comfort. I'm going to be at a B tier for this one.
Now, the only real drawback to this chair, besides the fact that it is a $269 chair, so it's not going to be built as well as some of the $500 and $600 chairs, is the fact that it has a 3-year warranty, which kind of matches up to that point. I'm still going to give it a B because it is really comfortable and a good value. B overall.
Next up, we've got the Steelcase Leap, but if you want to speed up this process and check out our office chair comfort cheat sheet, click the link in the description. The Leap has been one of my favorite chairs since we brought it in. It's got super good adjustments, amazing comfort in the back and the seat. My only downfall with the chair is that I don't think it has quite as good of a recline as a couple other models, but I'm still going to be at an A+ with this chair.
We see these chairs coming in all the time, and they just hold up extremely well. The only drawback, I think, with this one is just knowing the fact that the Ameap seat is a little more comfortable for me. If it had the Ameap seat, I would be happy to give it an S tier, but because the seat is what it is, I'm going A.
Flexibility, good support all around. If it had a little nicer recline, it'd be an S, but I'm at an A, so this is A overall.
The Knoll Regeneration chair is now under the Herman Miller umbrella, and so you're going to get all of those great policies that you would get from Herman Miller. The only problem with this chair for me from a comfort standpoint is it's just a little bit too small. Otherwise, I really do like a lot about it, especially that flexible backrest. I'm going to go B tier.
I'm actually a big fan of polyback chairs, and I really like the looks and the styling of the Regeneration. The seat doesn't look like much, but it's actually pretty comfortable, so this is a high B for me.
Yeah, I don't think the Regeneration gets the love that it deserves. I really like the seat. The fully adjustable arms are comfortable, and that poly backrest with that curve is nice. Good flexibility. My only one complaint with the chair is that it kind of has that hip thrusty recline, which I don't love, but it's a well-built chair overall. B+ for me, and a B overall.
The Herman Miller Aeron Classic. Now, there's so many of these chairs out there that it is possible to find one for cheap. Like, if you can find one in the $200–300 range, you can still get some value there. It's going to be a C for me.
In its heyday, the Herman Miller Classic was amazing, but we're about 30 years from that time, and this chair is extremely dated, and you don't have any of the advantages of the Herman Miller warranty and the Herman Miller build quality because the chairs are so old, and I think it is incredibly uncomfortable with the seat and the back being so rigid. I'm at an F tier for this chair.
It's an absolute dice roll, even if you get it for $300, because these things are ticking time bombs, and it is excruciating when it comes to comfort. My legs go numb in this chair. I'm going F tier, D overall.
The Serta chair is exactly what you would expect from a big, poofy, non-adjustable office chair. It's decent for 1 or 2 hours at a time, but I can't get behind it for anything more than that, so I'm going to be at a D tier for this one.
Yeah, this is the cushy poofy chair. It provides literally no support. This is going to guarantee back pain for you, and the only reason I'm going to give it a D is because you probably can return it in a store. Otherwise, this thing is terrible.
If you're going to sit in it for maybe an hour, it might be okay, but there's so many better options, and this is just not an ergonomic chair. This is going to be D's all across.
The Herman Miller Cosm is one of the few mesh chairs that I actually can sit in comfortably. I really do like the hammock feel when I sit in the seat and the backrest. Unfortunately, we've got the leaf arms, which aren't great. I have tried the task arms, which I think are a much better option. I'm going to go A tier here.
I love the floating feeling you get from the Cosm. It really avoids a lot of the mesh chair problems we see in other mesh chairs. The build quality is nice. The policies are nice from Herman Miller. The only problem is I wish it had deeper seat depth. So this is a B for me.
I think one of the biggest attractions of the Cosm is the look of the chair. This really is a designer's dream with the dipped in color, the lines. It's super sleek without those handles and knobs. And I think it's comfortable overall from a mesh design. I like the hammock feel. If you get the task arms, I would consider this to be B tier. Just don't get those cheese grater arms and you'll be fine. B tier overall.
Now, the Steelcase Karman maybe rivals the Cosm for one of the best looking chairs. This is a chair I both love and hate. I love the backrest, has some flexibility, cradles you nicely, but the seat is just too small for me, so I don't love it there. It's going to be a B for me.
I love Steelcase as a company. They have amazing policies. The chair has good adjustability. I don't love the seat, and I really wish that they wouldn't have cheaped out on the arms. They have nicer arm packages on chairs that cost $400 less in their product lineup, and I assume they went with this because of the looks of the chair. I wish they didn't, and I wish they focused on comfort. I'm going to be at a B- on this one.
Honestly, I love the flexibility in this chair. And again, this is one of the few mesh chairs that I can sit comfortably in all day. I think it's kind of cheating, though, because they do have the pad underneath the mesh seat. But like Ryan said, these arms are lacking. I don't understand why we would put Steelcase Series 1 quality arms on one of their top-tier chairs. Unfortunately, because of that, I got to go B+, B overall.
For me, the Hon Ignition is just going to be a good, well-rounded overall chair, but it's not going to wow you at anything that it does. Decent seat, decent arms, decent backrest with some flexibility, but I'm going to be at a C tier for this one.
Yeah, Hon's one of the largest manufacturers on the planet, so you're definitely getting a good company backing up the chair. But like Ryan said, it's really not great at anything, and it's got that crunchy diaper butt seat, which I just can't get over sitting in the chair. I'm going C tier.
I previously had this chair at a B, but since we found better options for even cheaper, I'm moving this down to a C. It's going to be C all across the board.
If you've been following us for a while, you know I've been very high on this chair for quite a while now. I think it does a ton of stuff really well. Unfortunately, there are a couple misses with it. And a lot of that just comes down to the fact that it doesn't have a warranty that's as high as some of these major manufacturers. But overall, it's super comfortable, so I'm going B+.
The backrest is really my favorite part about the Vera chair. It has a really nice curve that just fits into my lower back. My biggest problem is I wish the arms went a little bit lower down. To me, they're always a little bit too high, but this is still a B for me.
My biggest negative with this chair is that the arms just simply don't go low enough, and I wish that they weren't sloped and a little bit slick because sometimes my arms just slide off them. But from a pure value standpoint, you're not going to find a chair that provides better value for under $500 in my opinion. So I would give this a B tier, and we're at a B overall.
The Ticova is a $120 chair that we would actually recommend in that value pick there. It's not a chair that I would want to spend like 8 to 10 hours in. Build quality's not there, comfort's not quite there, but it's still a C.
Yeah, the Ticova is one of those chairs that it provides a lot of bang for its buck, but it is a sub $200 chair. So you're going to get a lot of adjustments for the price, decent comfort for the price. The warranty's terrible. The build quality's not very good, but for a sub $200 chair, I think you're getting a lot of value. I'm at a C tier.
I mean, for $129, you really need to set your expectations where they should be. And this thing punches above its weight for that price point. That's why I think we're all at C tier, C overall.
Next up, we've got the standard for our F tier, which is Robert's kitchen chair. That's all it is a wood kitchen chair. F tier.
Robert still refuses to bring this in. His latest excuse, they did a dump dinner last night. You're not familiar with it, look it up on YouTube.
Chili.
But it's a F tier.
So we keep this in because we know some of you might still be sitting in one of these as an office chair. Please get out of it. These are F tier chairs. And the only benefit is you probably have one. That's the only good thing about it. F's all across.
The Steelcase Gesture is one of their flagship chairs, and I also think it's one of their most beautiful chairs. Unfortunately, it isn't that comfortable for me, and it's specific to the tailbone because of the seat pan design, and also the lumbar support's a bit lacking for my type of chair that I really like, which is very aggressive. They do have good policies, so I'm going to go B tier.
I don't like the seat on the Gesture as much as I do the Leap or the Ameap, but I do think overall it's still a very comfortable chair. I do like the kind of cradled feeling you get from the backrest. The arms are awesome too. So if you're looking for a chair with those arm adjustments, the Gesture is the way to go. It's going to be an A for me.
The Gesture is an amazing chair. Great build quality, amazing policies, some of the most advanced technology in terms of adjusting the chair with the rollout system for the seat slider, I think is really, really great. I am with these guys though on the seat, and for a different reason. I don't love the seat just because it feels like I'm kind of sliding out of it, and that's my main complaint with the chair. Otherwise, I love pretty much everything else about it, so I can't get above an A-, but we're still going to be at an A overall.
So the Haworth Very sits in the middle of their lineup, but for me, it's at the bottom for comfort. And that's mostly because I feel myself sinking through the mesh and hitting the backrest frame. So this is going to be a C for me.
It's not as good as the Soji, which is less expensive, and it's not even close to as good as the Zody, which is slightly more expensive. I also don't like the front lip on the seat, so I'm at a C for this one as well.
The problem is that this chair just doesn't fit the bill when it compares to the other major 3 chairs that they have. Like Robert said, the back. Ryan said the seat. I don't love the arms. Really not that much about this chair, but it's being held up because Haworth has great policies. I'm going C tier, C overall.
The OMS is kind of opposite from the Very because it doesn't have the build quality you get from a Haworth chair or the policies in terms of warranty, but this chair is just comfortable, and that's why it ranks well in our list. Really comfortable seat. I like the arms. I like the backrest. I'm at a B tier for this one.
I think it's actually a workhorse for that price point. I love the headrest option on it as well. There are a couple different armrest options that are really comfortable, so this is an easy B for me.
Yeah, typically, I don't prefer that thick of a padded seat, but I do really like the Yes's seat. It has what looks like more of a contour, but when you sit in it, it actually doesn't feel as restrictive as it might look. So this is going to be a B for me, B all across.
The IKEA Jarvfjallet is a terrible chair. I've been on record multiple times now F-tiering it. It will be an F tier forever.
Yeah, just really poor quality materials. And this is a chair that I always say you have to test it before you buy it. And when you test it, you're going to find out you don't want this chair. You don't even want to try to buy it online either because the shipping prices are exorbitant. F tier.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of redeeming characteristics on the Jarv. Yes, you can go in and test it, and yes, you can return it for up to a year, and yeah, you have a 10-year warranty, but you will 100% need to use that warranty because this build quality is terrible. The armrests are super uncomfortable. Everything about this chair is bad. F tier across the board.
I just got done reviewing the Haworth Soji, and it really confirmed for me that this is a chair that has really good value. It has comfort all around. There's nothing really that I complain about with this chair, so this is going to be a B for me.
Yeah, for me, the Soji is just a super solid pick in that $500 to $700 range. This is the type of chair I would be confident recommending to a family member. Well-built chair, great company that you're purchasing from, amazing adjustments, and it's just a comfortable chair for the price. I'm at a B tier.
I think the only reason why I can't get this up to an A is just because the seat is a little bit firm, even though I like firm seats, and the same thing for the arm pads. I'm going to go B. It'll be B overall.
The Secret Lab Neue, unfortunately, is a chair that is the opposite for me of the Soji, where I don't think it provides the value that it should for the price that you're paying for the chair. The policies aren't great. I think it's very uncomfortable. I'm at a D tier for this one.
Yeah, I think the policies will most likely annoy you, and that's one of my biggest issues with this chair, that and the fact that it's not very comfortable, but hey, turbo lumbar, I'm still going D.
Yeah, this kind of has like the triple threat: poor comfort, poor quality materials, poor policies. It's going to be a D. The only redeeming factor is there are worse chairs.
The Herman Miller Embody is Herman Miller's most flexible chair, so if you like to sit more actively and move around in it, this is probably going to be a good option. Now, the only reason I don't like it is because the upper backrest rolls my shoulders over, which makes it tough for me to sit in for long periods. Otherwise, this is a great chair. I'm going A tier.
I do have the same problem as Greg is describing. I found if I tweak the adjustments, I can get it so it doesn't bother me so much. Love the seat, love the recline on the Embody. This is going to be a high A for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going to echo what these guys said. I really like the build quality, great policies from Herman Miller, amazing adjustment package. I really like the recline on this chair. I do find the lumbar on the regular Embody, not the Logitech, to be a little bit pokey, and that's why I can't get it to S tier, but I'm still at a high A, and we're going to be at an A overall.
With the BTOD Ameap chair, you're getting a Steelcase Ameap frame with the Leap seat. Now, these aren't necessarily the best parts of these two chairs, but they're both A tier, and the arms are amazing on this. Super comfortable. This is going to be A tier.
Yeah, the Ameap just provides amazing value just because it's sold for so cheap. And even though the Leap seat is looked at as a downgrade to the Ameap, I would disagree with that. I think the Leap seat is an upgrade to the Ameap, which I think adds even more value to the Ameap. You also get amazing policies with a 12-year warranty and free returns. A tier.
Yeah, this chair is just a good value chair because the price point's around the $400 or less. And I don't think the Leap seat's bad. It's just not as good as the Ameap seat, in my opinion. I'm going A here, A overall.
The Humanscale World is one of my favorite mesh chairs just because the mesh has such good elasticity. It really lets you sink in and I find it to be comfortable. I like the arms on the chair and I really like the backrest. I'm not a huge fan of the recline or the overall build quality on this chair because it is squeaky and very noisy, so much so that it's really distracting in the office. So I'm going to be at a C tier for this one.
The seat definitely lets you sink in. In fact, I sink in so far that I hit the mechanism, which is kind of a deal killer for me. Humanscale does have good policies now, and they even have free returns, so it does give it a bit of a boost, but I can't get above D with this. I'm going D tier.
Definitely a love-hate situation here for me, and this is because what Greg said. If I let myself bottom out in the chair, if I sit down too hard, move around, I might hit that mechanism. So I do love the backrest, though, the pivoting feeling you get, so it does get a boost there. It's going to be a C for me. With 2 C's and a D, it's going to be a low C.
The Newtral chair is one of those late-night Amazon finds that I unfortunately found because this chair I thought was going to be much better than it was, especially with the lumbar support. That's probably one of the most unique that I've ever seen on an office chair. But this thing, even for me, someone who likes aggressive lumbar, is too much. And overall, at $549, I just don't see the value in it, so I'm going to go D tier.
The seat doesn't have enough support. I felt like I was always needing to move around in the seat. I had this down as a C, but after we've been talking about this, I'm moving it down to a D.
I'm not going to be so low as to go with a D because I do think it's usable. The seat is okay. The arms are okay. The back, when you fully collapse it, is okay. So I'm going to be at a C minus, but a D overall.
The Haworth Zody LX is a really nice looking chair, and it does have some comfort in the backrest especially, with a little bit of flexibility, but I find the seat to be too firm, so I'm going to go with a B here.
So for me, I like the Lux, the good-looking chair, well-built, from a great brand. But the deal breaker for me is going to be the backrest. And unlike Robert, I can't find it to be comfortable for me. It's just too rigid. It doesn't have the movement or the freedom that I like in a chair. And the lumbar is just non-existent. You move it up and down, and I can't feel anything. So I'm going to be at a C tier for this one.
Yeah, I think this chair is actually supported because of the Haworth brand for me, and it's why I'm going to give it the rank that I'm going to, because that backrest is an absolute deal killer for me. Even with the lumbar added, it feels like there's no lumbar support. So unless you use it in the perched position, I don't feel really anything for my backrest. I'm going to go C tier here. It's going to be C overall.
The Newtral Posture 8000 is a lot different than most chairs on this list just because it has so much padding and it's more of a workhorse style chair, just loaded with adjustments. I think that it's comfortable. I don't like how it cradles me, but I love the armrests on this thing, and I do like that the seat is pretty cush. I'm at a B tier.
The armrests are some of the most adjustable out of any of the arms that we've tested, and it has an S-tier headrest as well. I think the seat is comfortable, but it's just a little bit too thick in the seat padding for me. But it's a good chair for sure. I'm going to go B tier.
The 8000 definitely has that nice padding, feels really good comfort all around, but the real problem here, and we all kind of agree on this, is the mech. It doesn't have the greatest recline function there, so it's going to be a B for me, B all around.
The BTOD Petite is the first petite chair that we've actually put in our list. Now, you've been asking for this in some of our other videos. We do have someone in the office, April, who's 4'11", and so she was testing on comfort. She said she'd give this about a C+. It's just a little bit too tall for her. The chair only goes down to 16 inches at the seat height. Now, it has good build quality. It's got a good price point for it as well, and if she was a little bit taller, she said she would have ranked it higher, so I'm going to go B here.
So I'm definitely too tall to fit in this chair, but I really trust April's opinion. She sat in a lot of chairs for us. The build quality, the materials are nice. It's going to be a B for me.
I don't love the mechanism on this chair. It kind of has that center tilt recline, which kicks your knees up. Paired with April's comfort rating, I'd be at a similar rating as her, C, but we're going to be at a B tier overall.
The Nightingale CXO has a great thick padded seat that feels great. The problem for me is my back hits the backrest frame a little too much, so it's hard for me to do a long sit test in this, so I'm going to give it a C.
For me, the CXO is the chair that I've spent the most time in my life. I spent 10 years in this chair. The backrest fits me well. I think it provides good lumbar support. The seat is super cush, super comfortable. Just a warning on that really thick padded seat. I did end up finding that it wasn't doing my back wonders in the long run. But overall, from a build quality standpoint, warranty standpoint, I got to give this one an A.
I don't really fit in it that well. That back is just a little bit too short for me. When you pair it with the headrest, that definitely doesn't work. I don't love how hard the arm pads are and how they're concaved. And that seat pad is just way too thick for something that I would like. I got to just go with a D tier here. It's going to be a C overall.
The Hinomi H1 Pro is an interesting chair. We got a ton of comments asking us to review this one, and when I unpackaged it and took it out of the box, I had high hopes. It felt sturdy, it felt well built, but when I actually sat down in the chair and had to use the arms that I thought were going to be like the Gesture, but operated more like the Aeron, and were hard and slippery, backrest is just way too pronounced, and the seat is incredibly uncomfortable. It almost feels like sitting in a mesh bucket seat. I'm at a D tier.
For the price point right now, even though it has a 12-year warranty and free returns, it's so uncomfortable for me that I just can't find a comfortable position at all. I like aggressive lumbar. This is next level, and you can't adjust it to the point where it's sort of out of the way. The armrest, hard to adjust. I'm going D tier.
So I have the Hinomi a little higher than the guys here. I actually think the back is not too bad. It does have strong lumbar, but I do like that. And the big wide headrest feels pretty nice, but it does have a lot of seat issues. So it's going to be a low C for me. It averages out to a D.
The Eurotech IOO chair is one of those chairs that I've always really wanted to like a lot. The seat on it is comfortable. I do like the aggressive lumbar. It's just that the armrests move around way too easily. Even with them improving them, they still haven't gotten that much better. I'm going C tier.
I do like that lumbar. It's nice and pronounced. My biggest problem is those arms. They just move all over, and it really keeps me so I don't even want to sit in this chair. So it's a C-.
One thing that these guys didn't touch on, which is a problem for me, is that the top of my back really never makes contact with the backrest because it's pitched in a way and the lumbar pushes you forward. And so I have a really difficult time using this in an upright position because the chair just doesn't allow you to. C tier overall.
We're going back to IKEA with the Markus chair. There's just a lot of problems here, unfortunately. The headrest doesn't fit me right. The lumbar honestly feels like a mistake to me. This is going to be an F.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to putting this one in the F tier too. The only reason that I'm not is because the Markus does have one redeemable characteristic in my eyes, and that is the recline. I think that this chair is the best recline of a sub $300 chair, D-.
Yeah, I think that's true. The recline is pretty good on this chair. And I also think that the build quality isn't terrible because we see these things kind of around and have been around for a long time. But honestly, it's so uncomfortable. If you need to ship it, it's ridiculous. It's going to be F tier.
The Steelcase, I think, is a well-built chair, great policies, one of the best-looking chairs from Steelcase in my opinion, especially if you get the two-tone color going with it. But I can't get behind it from a comfort standpoint. It's got really good arms, but I don't love the back. I can feel the frame more than I'd like to, and I don't like the recline on it. I wish they would have went with a recline more like the Gesture or the Leap, so I'm going to be at a C tier for this one.
Yeah, I think they could have done a better job with the Think, especially in that recline. It does have all of the policies that you would expect in the Steelcase. I'm going B tier.
It does have kind of average comfort. It's not necessarily in the class of the Leap or the Ameap, so this is going to be a B for me. So it's going to be B overall.
A lot of people have been out there saying that the Herman Miller Sail is better than it is. I just can't get behind it because of the fit for me. It just hits me in my shoulder blades, and that's something that is a deal breaker. Herman Miller warranty policies are great, but I can't get above C tier.
I would love this chair if I could just get a larger size of it. The seat feels nice. I like the backrest. It looks really cool, but it can only be a C.
The chair actually fits me properly. I like the seat. I think the armrests are great. I like the recline. I like the poly back flexibility it has. The lumbar is terrible, but you do get a Herman Miller built chair, and I think it's well priced for the value that you get. I'm at a B tier for this one, but we're going to be at a C overall.
The Clatina Mallet used to be one of our top picks for that value proposition, but unfortunately it's a little too small again, and it has kind of some odd adjustments that don't feel great. So when I pull the seat slider all the way out, then I could feel my butt hitting the back of the seat frame. So this is going to be a low C for me.
This was our go-to for best chair for under $300 for quite a while, but since then there's been quite a few new chairs that have come out, and so I can't keep it as high as I have in previous years, also because of a lot of feedback I've seen from customers and reviews of build quality problems and issues with support. So unfortunately, I'm going to be bringing this one down from previous lists, and I'm going to be at a D+.
Yeah, this is just what happens when there's new chairs coming out and why it's important that we update these tier lists, because this at one point, like Ryan said, was ranked higher. But now that you can get a chair like the Ticova for $129, there's no way you can see this thing ranking even as high as that, because honestly, I don't think that the build quality is that much better than it. And it's definitely not any more comfortable. So I'm going to go C-, and it's going to be C overall.
The Freedom is Humanscale's flagship chair, and it commands a high price point. Unfortunately, I don't see the value that the chair provides in the price that you have to pay. You do have good policies from Humanscale, but I don't think that the build quality is up to what you would expect. This is one of the noisiest chairs in our office, and I cannot stand the headrest jamming my neck forward, so I'm going to be at a C tier for this one.
I mean, this is one of those chairs for the price point you would expect a lot more, and we're going cost to value ratio here. I don't see it. I'm going to go C+ just because they do have good policies, but the chair, unfortunately, isn't that comfortable.
I actually have this at an A. I really like the comfort, the gel seat pad. I can sit in this for hours, and I actually really like how the headrest holds your head forward even when you're in that recline position. So it's going to be an A for me. We're going to have a B- overall.
The Colamy Kieran chair is another new chair in the list. This is actually a really good find from Amazon because it's typically around the $150 price point, so it definitely punches above its weight. I think it's comfortable. It's just not as comfortable as the other chair in the list, the Atlas, for me, and so for that reason, I'm going to give it a C tier.
So the Kieran has a nice wide seat, and I really like the backrest on this chair too. I would actually prefer this chair over the Atlas. It does not have the headrest, but this is still my pick, probably up to about $300. So it's going to be a B for me.
The Kieran is a good chair, but again, it's a sub $200 chair, so you're not going to get the best policies. You are going to get a good build quality for the price, but not in comparison to the entire category. For me, the best part of the chair is going to be the seat. It's really well padded. I don't bottom out in it, and it gives you a ton of space. So if you're looking for a really comfortable seat for under $200 on a decently built chair with some good armrests, then I think this is a very good option. I'm at a C tier for this, C tier overall.
The Odin Lake 747 chair is a chair we just received yesterday, pulled it out of the box, but we wanted to squeeze it in the list here. Just first impressions, we can't give you a full rating yet, but in my first try of sitting in the chair, I found that unfortunately the seat has a lot of those typical mesh seat problems, but the backrest is pretty nice. It's very tall, has this unique kind of 3 panels like you would see in like an Ergohuman chair, so it's nice for tall users, but unfortunately right now I'm going to have it at a D just because of that seat. We'll give it some more time though.
Yeah, like Robert said, we don't have a ton of time with this chair, and I haven't sat in it very long, but I will say that the moment I sat down in it, my first words were, wow, this is more comfortable than I was expecting, because I was expecting it to be really gimmicky with the kind of triple section on the backrest, but it was actually really supportive. I really like the recline, and I think it's a comfortable chair. So I'm going to be sitting at a C+ to start, but I'm excited to test this one out because I think my rating might change.
They have a 15-year warranty on the chair, which includes the entire chair and free returns, so that gives it a bit of a boost. I'm excited because we're going to update this in the comfort tier list that should be coming out in about a month after this video releases. I'm going C tier. It's going to be C tier overall.
The Branch Task is my favorite chair in the Branch lineup. It's a very simple chair though, not a lot going on for it. The reason that I like it is because it is under $300. It feels well built, has decent comfort, decent adjustments. I don't love the lumbar support, but I am going to be at a C tier for this model.
It's not a great chair overall. I do like the armrest, and I think it's something that is usable. I'm just going to give it a C because it's just sort of average all around.
The problem here is I probably would prefer some of our chairs that are maybe $150 like the Kieran we just talked about. So even though this does have kind of average comfort all around, I'm going to put it at a D just because I prefer those other chairs. So it's going to average to a C overall.
The Steelcase Series 1 is an interesting chair from Steelcase because it is an actual Steelcase chair, but it is really small. Now, I actually don't mind the seat pad on it, but I don't like the armrest at all. The back is way too short for me. You do get all Steelcase policies, though, so that's a perk, and if you fit in it, you might like it a little bit more. I got to go C tier here, though.
This chair is just way too small for me. I'm going to have to go with a D, and I don't think the materials, they're just not up to Steelcase's quality.
I don't feel like the Series 1 feels, looks, and performs like a typical Steelcase chair. The armrests are terrible, and I do not like the backrest. The recline also has a lot to be desired, so I'm going to be at a C- for this, C overall.
The BTOD IKEA chair has a nice thick padded seat, has a wide backrest. The problem is this just isn't my favorite style of chair. I prefer a chair that encourages more movement, so it's going to be a C for me.
My main issue with the chair is that it doesn't fit me perfectly. It's a little bit too big, too wide, too deep, and I don't love the thick padded seat in the long run just because it tends to bottom out a little bit quicker than you'd expect out of a really thick padded seat, so I'm going to be at a C tier.
I think that the policies definitely boost this one up a little bit. Nice big backrest. It's just kind of average everywhere else. I'm going to go C tier. It'll be C overall.
The Vera is one of the lowest priced chairs in the Herman Miller lineup, and it can provide good value for some of you out there. It's a decently built chair for the price. You get amazing policies, and it has good adjustments. My one drawback with the chair is that I don't love the seat foam. It's a little bit thin, and it tends to bottom out a little bit quicker than I'd like, so I'm going to be at a B-.
I think if we look at this from just the perspective of what you can pay for Herman Miller chairs, typically at that $700 price point, I think it's a pretty decent value, especially when we compare it to something like the Vantum. So those policies do boost it, and unlike the Vantum, adults can actually sit in this chair, so I'm going to give it a B tier.
So even though this chair is coming from Herman Miller, you're not getting the nice styling, you're not getting that great recline, and to me this chair has only average comfort. So for me it's only a C, it's going to average out to a B.
The Sihu chair is one of those chairs that I don't know who actually could like this chair because the seat on it is a rock. It is so firm. It is one of the most firm office chairs that I've ever sat in. The armrests aren't great. Just overall, not a good chair. And so I have to go F tier on this one.
Yeah, the Sihu really is just hard all over. The only reason I'm going to go with a D is because it does beat my kitchen chair.
The backrest is very pokey and you can really feel the frame. And so when we have other chairs out there like the Ticova, the Colamy Kieran, the Colamy Atlas, there's just better chairs you can go with. And so for me, this is also F tier all the way.
The Neutral Posture XSM chair is another petite chair on our list. This has even higher quality materials, and it's coming from a really good manufacturer that's Neutral Posture. I know this got a better rating for comfort from April. For me, it's going to be an A.
Yeah, so April ended up testing this chair, and she told us that it would be a B+ comfort score from her, and the only reason it wouldn't be an A is because the backrest wasn't quite tall enough. But the good thing is that you can get a higher back on this chair, so you can solve that problem, which means that there is a version of this that she would rank A. That combined with the build quality, the warranty, the backing from the manufacturer, and the amount of adjustments you get on this chair, I'm at an A tier.
I pretty much got to agree with everything these guys said, and then I definitely have to agree with April because, as you can tell in the B-roll, I don't fit in this chair, and she does. So if she says A, I'm going A tier overall.
Next up, we've got the Ergochair Pro, but just a reminder, if you want to check out our office chair comfort cheat sheet to get a quick tip guide on these chairs, click the link in the description. Unfortunately for me, the Ergochair Pro is very uncomfortable in everything that touches your body. So the seat bottoms out right away, the arms are terrible to lean against, and the backrest is wildly uncomfortable. It's a decently built chair, decent warranty, D- though.
I love that take because it's everything that touches your body. So this chair is actually terrible. Not good for comfort. Doesn't really have good policies from a warranty standpoint. They do have free returns now, so it gives a bit of a boost. I got to agree with Ryan, though. Everything that my body touches in this chair doesn't like it, and I'm going D tier.
I can't disagree with any of those takes. This is a super overrated chair. We see this a lot in people's setups, but you should not be using this for your own comfort's sake. This is D's all across.
The Steelcase Series 2 chair is an interesting one. It sort of got caught in this weird place. It's like a Series 1, but it's still better from some of the build quality standpoints and the fact that it has the better four-way arms. The seat on it is an absolute rock, though, and for that reason, I can't sit in it. It does have Steelcase policies, so it gets a bump. I'm going C+.
Yeah, like the Series 1, it's still too small, so it doesn't have enough seat depth for me, so I can't really get comfortable. But the backrest is fine. I do like that it has a little bit of that contour, kind of hugs you in the chair, but it's still just going to be a C for me.
Yeah, for me, I like the arms on the Series 2. I like the build quality. You get great policies, but it's really firm to me, which goes against most Steelcase chairs. The back is firm, the lumbar is really firm, and like Greg said, the seat is really firm. So I'm going to be at a C as well for this, C overall.
With the Herman Miller Mira 2, you're getting another polyback backrest, and I do like these style of backrests. I also like the seat. It kind of removes some of the problems that the Aeron has with the big bolsters, and it does have a bit odd-looking but nice-feeling arms. They have a really good pad on them, so this is going to be a B for me.
Yeah, I like the Mira 2 overall from a design and build quality standpoint, and it's also loaded with adjustments, and I agree with Robert that the seat is a little bit more comfortable than the Aeron, especially with the depth adjustment that they added. My problem is that the chair doesn't fit me perfectly. It's just a little bit too big. The arms are a little bit too wide, and so for me, I can't fit in it properly, but I'm still going to be at a B-.
The droopy arms are incredibly comfortable, and that backrest is actually something that I do enjoy using with the adjustment for the lumbar support. It's really supportive where you need it to be, and you can kind of fine-tune it. It's going to be a B for me and a B overall.
The Hag Sofi is a difficult chair for me to kind of rank because I really want to give it a higher score than I'm going to because I appreciate their ingenuity, the quality of materials, the adjustment that they use. I really like the depth adjustable arms. It's a very unique concept, but it's just not very comfortable for me. I don't love the backrest. I can really feel the frame, so I'm just going to be at a C tier for this one.
Yeah, this one's tough because it is a well-built chair. You can tell that it is coming from a brand that definitely knows what they're doing when it comes to build quality. The problem with it is it's just a very rigid chair. There is no movement in it at all, and I can't use that for long periods. So for that reason, I'm going C tier.
Yeah, this is one of those chairs that if I sit perfectly, stay in the middle of the chair, it can feel okay. But if I stray a little bit, especially in the backrest, I'm going to be hitting that hard frame. This is going to be a C for me, C all across.
The Hag Capisco is a chair that definitely needs to get qualified. This chair is really unique in that it's pretty much mainly being used with standing desks and in awkward positions where you're sort of sitting backwards, using it sideways, doing all of these odd things that I would never do at my desk. And so it's not a great chair for me. I think the build quality is okay, but for the price point, I got to go C tier.
I really like this chair for changing my position up during the day. Like Greg said, I like to be able to sit backwards in this, and you basically use the backrest as a kind of a chest rest. But the price you're paying for the hours that you're probably going to be using is pretty high, so it's a B.
Yeah, this is a tough one just because it's kind of in a niche category. And in that niche category of standing and active chairs, I think this is the best of the best. It's going to be the most well-built, the best warranty, the best adjustments, the most comfortable. But if we're going to compare it to other ergonomic chairs that you can use for 8 to 12 hours at a time, 40 to 60 hours a week, it doesn't really stack up. So in the world of active chairs, this would be an A or an S. But in this list, it just has to be a C, and it's going to be a C overall.
Branch Verve chair. So this is maybe the best looking chair in their lineup, but I have to help out the tall guys here. This chair is just not going to work for you. For me, the seat height isn't even tall enough, so it's going to be a D.
It doesn't have a ton of adjustment. I don't think it's the most well-built chair, but it has a fantastic recline. So aside from the recline, it's not very comfortable, but I do think it's a little better version than the Markus, so I'm going to give it a C-.
I just don't fit in the chair. Like Robert said, the back isn't a good height for me. And the arms, they're only height adjustable and they're narrow. They don't really give me any kind of comfort that I'd be looking for a lot of tasking. And so unfortunately, because of that, I got to go D tier. It's going to be D overall.
The Sidus T50 is going to be one of the nicest looking chairs that you can find for under $500, but unfortunately that's probably going to be my favorite part about the chair. I don't think it's super comfortable. It does feel decently solid for the price, but the lumbar support is super jabby. I don't love the armrest, so unfortunately I'm going to be at a C- for this one.
The headrest is also very bad on this chair. And those arms, if you actually open up the arms, it's got like this little bitty piece of packing foam inside there for the padding. It is ridiculous. And so for that reason, I'm going D tier.
I may be giving this chair a little too much credit for looking nice, but I do think the backrest is fine. Like Ryan said, the lumbar can be pretty aggressive. So if you don't like aggressive lumbar, you want to stay away. I'm going to give it a C. It averages out to a low C.
The X-Chair X2 is one of those chairs that you've probably seen on many of the commercials on TV. Now, this chair, unfortunately, isn't very good for the price point. I don't think, at least. It has an awkward sitting position that's sort of forward or slightly reclined. There's no sort of neutral positioning. I don't like the armrest arm pads, and I definitely don't like that seat. The policies aren't great, so I'm going F tier.
So as I was putting together my notes last night, my son walked in the room, asked me, what's the worst chair on your list? The X2 came to my mind. Really poor materials, bad policies, so this is going to be an F.
The biggest struggle for the X2 is going to be the price. It's a very high-priced chair, and it has a lot of features that may make you absolutely despise the chair. I do think that you get a decent build quality for the price. Policies are a little bit lacking. The comfort is the main issue. The only reason I'm not putting this in F tier and I'm going to save it for a D- is because I do think that there's chairs that we've found that are in the F tier that aren't quite as good as this one, but I still wouldn't recommend buying this one. I'm at a D, but we're at an F overall.
I was actually pleasantly surprised when I first sat in the Haworth Assure chair. It was a little more comfortable than I expected, but it's a pretty boring looking chair coming from a good brand. It's going to be a C.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that Robert says that it's a little bit more comfortable than he expected is because when you look at a chair like this and see something super generic, you don't expect anything from it. And all Haworth did here was just pick a generic chair off the wall and slap their name on it. So the advantage to this chair is that you get Haworth's policies, but you're not getting their build quality, their adjustments, and I don't think it's a very good chair. So I'm going to be at a D tier for this one.
Yeah, this pretty much goes against everything that I think Haworth is about. There is no thought really that if there is, I don't see it, that went into this chair. It's too big for me. I've tried to sit in it again, and because it's so wide, I just don't fit into it. I'm going to go D tier just because it's still backed by Haworth. Otherwise, it's D tier overall.
The Lino is another low-priced option in Herman Miller's lineup. When I say low price, I mean $600 to $800, which is pretty low compared to the $1,700 and $1,800 Aeron and Embody. You're not going to get the same quality as those chairs, but it is still a pretty well-built chair with good policies. Not the most comfortable chair. The seat's a little bit hard, and I don't love the backrest frame. I do like the lumbar support, though, so I'm going to be at a B-.
You really would compare this chair to the Veris because they're in that similar price point. I actually find the Veris to be a little bit more comfortable for me, and it's specifically because the Lino's too rigid and that seat's a little bit too firm. I'm going C+.
For me, the Lino wins when it comes to looks, and it maybe is a little better quality materials than the Veris in my opinion, but comfort probably goes to the Veris here. It's still going to be a C for me. It's going to be C overall.
If you've watched these videos, it's no secret that I love the Steelcase Ameap, and I'm going to have to stay true to what I've said in the past about it. I love the seat on it. I really like that internal lumbar support system. It doesn't have a backstop or back limiting feature, but it's not a big deal because I just crank up the tension. I like how the four-way armrests work with this one. And again, it's a Steelcase chair, so at the value that you get for the price, it's really hard to beat, especially in the category as a whole. I'm going S tier.
The comfort really is in the seat, just super comfortable seat, the best from all of Steelcase, A tier.
For me, I love the Ameap chair, but it's just a step down in almost every aspect from the Leap, which I would consider to be as close to S tier as you can get. So you're going to get a little bit downgrade on the mechanism. Also a little bit lacking in the flexibility in the backrest. So I'm going to be at an A tier overall.
The Humanscale Smart Chair has the most comfortable seat from the Humanscale lineup, and I really love the pivoting backrest design. I do prefer the Liberty chair only because it takes away that funny bone knocker in the armrest, but this is still a B for me.
It's very similar to the Different World, which is why they share a name, but you get away from that mesh seat. Instead, you get a nice padded seat that actually still has some flexibility to it, and so it ends up being really comfortable for me. Backrest is great. I also like the arms. The only thing lacking for me is that funny bone knocker and then the recline, but I'm still going to be at a B+ for this one.
Listen, there's nothing funny about that funny bone knocker, and that's the only reason I don't give this thing an S tier. I love the seat. I love the back. I'm going to go A tier. It's going to be B+ overall.
The Staples Hyken is one of the few chairs in this list that I would prefer to sit in Robert's kitchen chair over. There is just not a lot of redeeming characteristics about this chair other than the warranty from Staples, the fact that you can go to the store, and the fact that you can return it to them. But because it's so uncomfortable, I have to give this thing F tier.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it has that return policy is super important because you're going to return it. And you won't have any money that you'll have to pay towards that. You will waste your time, and you will probably develop back pain because it's a terrible chair. I'm going F tier.
Yeah, just really low quality materials all around, which leads to the really low comfort. So this is F all across.
The OM truly is one of those chairs that you probably just don't hear a lot about, but I think this is truly a great find. I love the poly back on it. I think it's one of the more comfortable ones that has really good lower support. I find that the seat's super comfortable. Now, it isn't at the top tier when it comes to build quality, so I'm going to knock it a little bit for that, but I really like this chair a lot. I'm going B tier.
It has a nice tall backrest with lots of adjustability, and I do like that lumbar support in the backrest. The seat is maybe a little thick for my liking, but it's still comfortable. It's going to be a B-.
The Truly's in a really good spot when we look at price to value ratio just because of all the majors raising their prices so much over the last 2 years. The Truly is now in a spot where it competes very favorably to chairs like the Lino, the Series 2, the Veris. It's loaded with adjustments, pretty good build quality, a very good looking chair, and overall I think it's got very good comfort. And so I'm going to give this chair a B. It's going to be a B overall.
The Ergohuman with the Tempurpedic foam seat is a good option for those that like that Ergohuman but want a padded seat. Now, it does have a pretty thick foam, and you definitely sink into it, so it can get kind of warm, but I do really like that backrest. Nice lumbar support. B tier for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in the same spot as Robert. So this isn't the Gen 2 Ergohuman. This is the original Ergohuman, so it's still going to have some of those problems that the previous model had with the armrest not being super comfortable and adjustable. And for me, I would give the normal Ergohuman with a padded leather seat a C tier, but I don't like the Tempurpedic edition. It's really hard for me, and I find it to be uncomfortable, so I'm going to have to knock it down a tier for that. I'm going to give this a D tier.
Now, I think there is a bump here because that Tempurpedic seat is comfortable, in my opinion. It's going to start firm, but then it does soften up over time as you sit in it. I'm going to go B tier, and it's going to be C tier overall.
The Herman Miller Aeron is iconic for a reason. It has an amazing build quality, great policies from Herman Miller, a fantastic looking chair, and some of the features on it are very unique to itself. The Posture Fit SL system is amazing. The recline is second to none, and I do like the overall back support. My biggest problem with this chair is that the design overall is dated in the sense that it's not flexible at all. The seat is super rigid, the back is super rigid, and because of that, I cannot get this up into A tier, but I'm still at a B+.
I think it just shows with this chair what they did with the remastered, how significant of a change that is from the original Classic, because it is more comfortable than the Classic, but fit issues are always going to be a problem for me with the different sizes. I just don't fit into them the way I should. Now, it has great arm pads, and it does have an awesome recline that's super comfortable and supportive, so you give a bump there. I'm going to go B tier.
I just love the suspended feeling you get in the Aeron. The recline, like we've said, is just second to none. Arm pads are amazing. Back support is great with that lumbar. Now, the seat does have a little bit of a problem with the restrictive bolsters, but to me, no chair is perfect. Aeron is pretty close, though. It's going to be S tier with 2 Bs and a S, A overall.
The BTOD Lamia chair isn't technically a Steelcase chair. However, it does require 2 Steelcase chairs to make it. It's the Leap frame plus the Ameap seat. This, for me, is the ultimate of ultimates. I love the seat pad on the Ameap, and I love the rest of the Steelcase Leap chair. So for me, this is going to be a God tier.
So I've spent a lot of time in the Lamia since the last time we made one of these tier lists, and it is now an S tier chair for me. You're taking the best 2 parts out of the Leap and the Ameap chair, putting them together, and the sum is greater than the 2 parts. S tier.
The Lamia is an amazing chair, great combination of the Leap and Ameap, but for me, I don't really have the problem with needing a more comfortable seat on the Leap, so it's not a huge improvement for me personally. Still an amazing chair though, so I'm at an A+ for this, and we're going to be S tier overall.
The Zody is another beautiful chair coming from Haworth. My preference goes towards the more narrow-backed Fern, but this is still an awesome chair. I really like the perching feature that this chair adds. It's going to be an A.
Yeah, I love the Zody chair. This is going to be in my top 5 chairs of all time. I could easily sit in this as my daily driver every single day. I like the seat. I like the arms. Really like the backrest with the dual lumbar control. You get some flexibility with that. And I don't mind the recline with the 2 mode that you have where it doesn't really let you sit fully upright. I make it work with tension adjustment. So I'm going to be at an A+ for this.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I have really from a drawback standpoint on this chair is that way that it seats you in the chair, and I haven't been able to find the perfect sort of sit with the tension adjusted the way that Ryan does. And so for that reason, I just got to go B+ here, and it's going to be A overall.
Don't forget to check out our office chair comfort cheat sheet. If you really want a quick guide on what the most comfortable chairs are, click the link in the description.